We'll start today from Juz 4. That's basically Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 92 onwards. By no means shall ye attain righteousness unless ye give freely of that which ye love. And whatever ye give, Allah knoweth it well. All food was lawful to the children of Israel, except what Israel made unlawful for himself. Bring the Torah before the Torah was revealed. Say, bring ye the Torah and study it, if ye be men of truth. If any after this invent a lie and attribute it to Allah, they are indeed unjust wrongdoers. Say, Allah speaketh the truth. Follow the religion of Abraham, the sane in faith. He was not of the pagans. The first house of worship appointed for men was that at Bakka, full of blessing and of guidance for all the worlds. Bakka is another name for Makkah. In it are signs manifest, the station of Abraham. Whoever enters it attains security. Pilgrimage thereto is a duty men owe to Allah, those who can afford the journey. But if any deny faith, Allah stands not in need of any of his creatures. Say, O people of the book, why reject ye the signs of Allah, when Allah is himself witness to all ye do? Say, O people of the book, say, O ye people of the book, why obstruct ye those who believe from the path of Allah, seeking to make it crooked, while while ye were yourselves witnesses to Allah's covenant? But Allah is not unmindful of all that ye do. O ye who believe, if ye listen to a faction among the people of the book, they would indeed render you apostates after ye have believed. And who would ye deny? And, and how would ye deny faith while unto you are rehearsed the signs of Allah, and among you lives the messenger? Whoever holds firmly to Allah will be shown a way that is straight. O you who believe, fear Allah, and he should be feared, and die not except in a state of Islam. The word used is Muslimun, die not except as Muslims. The next verse is actually very important. This is Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 103. And we do quote this again and again during our Dawah lectures and Islah lectures. وَتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. So double emphasis. So if you hold fast, all of you are together, Jamio, that means you're not divided. But there is a double emphasis in this verse which says, and hold fast all together by the rope of Allah. Hablillah. Actually, the word Hablillah means the rope of Allah. Now, what is the rope of Allah? It refers to the Quran, as is clarified in the statement. And hold fast all together by the rope of Allah, by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. If you're not divided, you are together. And if you're together, you are not divided. So the same thing has been stated in two different ways. And why is that the same thing has been stated in two different ways? It is for emphasis purpose. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided among yourselves. And now, what is meant with the rope of Allah? The Quran itself does not explain what the rope of Allah means. We cannot know the meaning of the rope of Allah, what it means, unless we would never have known the meaning of the rope of Allah unless had it not been clarified in Hadith statement that the rope of Allah refers to the Quran. Now, there is a lecture which I had delivered a long time back, and it is titled The Unity of the Muslim Ummah. In that, I had given you the detailed references for the Hadith which I am quoting, that which states about the rope of Allah referring to the Quran. You can refer to that lecture as well. So, and hold fast altogether by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided among yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you, for ye were enemies, and he joined your hearts in love, so that by his grace ye became brethren. And ye were on the brink of the pit of fire, and he saved you from it. Thus doth Allah make his signs clear to you, that ye may be guided. Let there arise out of you a band of people. Now, the next verse, verse number 104, follows as a logical conclusion of verse number 103 of Surah Imran, and it's also very important. Let there arise out of you a band of people, inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. They are the ones to attain felicity. Be not like those who are divided amongst themselves and fall into disputations after receiving clear signs. For them is a dreadful chastisement on the day when some faces will be lit up with white and some faces will be in the gloom of black. To those whose faces will be black will be said, did you reject faith after accepting it? Taste then the chastisement for rejecting faith. But those whose faces will be lit with white, they will be in the light of Allah's mercy. Therein to dwell forever. These are the signs of Allah. We rehearse them to thee in truth, and Allah means no injustice to any of His creatures. To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth, all that is in the samawat and the ard. To Allah do all matters return. And the verse number 10 is also very important, which follows as a logical conclusion of verses 103 and 104. It says, ye are the best of peoples, kundum khaira ummah. And why have we been described as the best of peoples? The answer to this first part of the statement is also mentioned in the next part of the statement in this verse. Ye are the best of peoples, evolved from mankind. Why is it? Because enjoining what is right. So the conditions are now given why we have been referred to as the best of people. So if the conditions have been mentioned why we have been referred to as the best of people, if the conditions are missing in us, do we still qualify as the best of people? No, we don't. So let's read the verse in completion. Verse number 110. Ye are the best of peoples, evolved for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah. If only the people of the book had faith, it were best for them. Among them are some who have faith, but most of them are perverted transgressors. They will do you no harm, barring a trifling annoyance. If they come out to fight you, they will show you their backs, and no help shall they get. Shame is pitched over them like a tent wherever they are found, except when under a covenant of protection from Allah and from men, they draw on themselves wrath from Allah. And pitched over them is the tent of destitution. This because they rejected the signs of Allah and slew the prophets in defiance of right. This because they rebelled and transgressed beyond bounds. Not all of them are alike. Of the people of the book are a portion that stand for the right. They rehearse the signs of Allah all night long, and they prostrate themselves in adoration. They believe in Allah and the last day. They enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong, and they hasten in emulation in all good works. They are in the ranks of the righteous. Of the good that they do, nothing will be rejected of them, for Allah knoweth well those that do right. Those who reject faith, neither their possessions nor their numerous progeny will avail them aught against Allah. They will be companions of the fire, dwelling therein forever. What they spend in the life of this material world may be likened to a wind which brings a nipping frost. It strikes and destroys the harvest of men who have wronged their own souls. It is not Allah that hath wronged them, but they wrong themselves. O you who believe, take not into your intimacy those outside your ranks. They will not fail to corrupt. They will not fail to corrupt you. They only desire for you to suffer. Rank hatred has already appeared from their mouths. What their hearts conceal is far worse. We have made plain to you the signs if you have wisdom. Ah, ye are those who love them, but they love you not, though ye believe in the whole of the book. When they meet you, they say we believe, but when they are alone, they bite off the very tips of their fingers at you in their rage. Say, perish in your rage. Allah knoweth well all the secrets of the heart. If aught that is good befalls you, it grieves them. But if some misfortune overtakes you, they rejoice at it. But if you are patient and do right, not the least harm will their cunning do to you. For Allah compasseth round about all that they do. Remember that morning thou didst leave thy household early to post the faithful at their stations for battle, and Allah heareth and knoweth all things. Remember two of your parties meditated cowardice, but Allah was their protector, and in Allah should the faithful ever put their trust. Allah had helped you at Badr. In the battle of Badr, the Muslims were far outnumbered. There were 300 Muslims against the enemies who numbered some 1,000. So they were outnumbered by three times. So, but still the Muslims were victorious. Allah had helped you at Badr when you were helpless. Then fear Allah, thus may you show your gratitude. Remember, thou saidst to the faithful, Is it not enough for you that Allah should help you with 3,000 angels specially sent down? Yeah, if you remain firm and act right, even if the enemy should rush here on you in hot haste, your Lord would help you with 5,000 angels clearly marked. Allah made it but a message of hope for you and an assurance to your hearts. In any case, there is no victory except from Allah, the exalted, the wise, that He might cut off a fringe of the unbelievers or expose them to infamy, and they should then be turned back, frustrated of their purpose. Not for thee, but for Allah is the decision, whether He turn in mercy to them or punish them. For they are indeed wrongdoers. To Allah belongeth all that is in the heavens and on earth. To Allah belongeth all that is in the samawat and the earth. He forgiveth whom He pleaseth, and punisheth whom He pleaseth. But Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. O you who believe, devour not usury. Now, this is another occurrence. Actually, in the order of revelation, this would actually come first. I mean, come before the Surah Baqarah verses. So, this is very important. Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 130. It says, O ye who believe, devour not riba, devour not riba, doubled and multiplied, but fear Allah, that ye may really prosper. And fear the fire which is prepared for those who reject faith, and obey Allah and the Messenger, that ye may obtain mercy. Be quick in the race for forgiveness from your Lord, and for a garden whose width is that of the whole of the heavens and of the earth, whole of the samawat and the earth, prepared for the righteous. Those who spend freely, whether in prosperity or in adversity, who restrain anger and pardon all men, for Allah loves those who do good. And those who, having done an act of indecency or wronged their own souls, remember Allah and ask for forgiveness for their sins, and who can forgive sins except Allah, and are never obstinate in persisting knowingly in the wrong they have done. For such, the reward is forgiveness from the Lord, and gardens with rivers flowing underneath, an eternal dwelling. How excellent a recompense for those who work and strive. There have been examples that have passed away before you. Travel through the earth and see what was the end of those who rejected truth. Here is a plain statement to men, a guidance and instruction to those who fear Allah. So lose not heart, nor fall into despair, for ye must gain mastery if ye are true in faith. If a wound hath touched you, be sure a similar wound hath touched the others. Such days of varying fortunes we give to men and men by turns, that Allah may know those that believe, and that He may take to Himself from your ranks martyr witnesses to truth. And Allah loveth not those that do wrong. Allah's object also is to purge those who are true in faith, and to deprive of blessing those that resist faith. Do you think that ye would enter heaven without Allah testing those of you who fought hard in His cause and remained steadfast? Ye did indeed wish for death before ye encountered it. Now ye have seen it with your own eyes, and ye flinch? Verse number 144 of Surah Imran, chapter number 3, verse 144, is very important. The context of the verse, I mean, the verse gains in importance because of an incident which happened when the Prophet Muhammad passed away. So, when the Prophet passed away, Umar Razil Anhu, for a moment, he was in a state of shock, and he said, the Prophet cannot die. So, it was at that moment that that the that the conflict was resolved by the wisdom of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq Razil Anhu. He stayed calm at that moment, and he recited this verse. And the companion said that, as if we heard it, we knew this verse, but none of us recollected unless we heard it again from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq Radhiyallahu anhu. So not just knowing the verses is important, but applying them at the right moments are so critical to our overall understanding of the deen. So what was the verse which Abu Bakr as-Siddiq Radhiyallahu anhu he recited, and the difference went away, and the Muslims were again united in their understanding. So the Prophet ﷺ passed away, and this is the verse which Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he recited, Muhammad is no more, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is no more than a messenger. Many were the messengers that passed away before him. If he died or were slain, will ye then turn back on your heels? If any did turn back on his heels, not the least harm will he do to Allah, but Allah, on the other hand, will swiftly reward those who serve him with gratitude. So, this is the verse. It's so clear. It's so clear. And the matter got resolved. Nor can a soul die except by Allah's leave, the term being fixed as by writing. If any do desire reward in this life, we shall give it to him. And if any do desire reward in the hereafter, we shall give it to him. And swiftly shall we reward those that serve us with gratitude. How many of the prophets fought in Allah's way, and with them fought large bands of godly men, but they never lost heart if they met with with a disaster in Allah's way, nor did they weaken in will nor give in. And Allah loves those who are firm and steadfast. All that they said was, Our Lord, forgive us our sins and anything we may have done that transgressed our duty. Establish our feet firmly and help us against those who resist faith. And Allah gave them a reward in this world and the excellent reward of the hereafter. For Allah loveth those who do good. O you believe, if you obey the unbelievers, they will drive you back on your heels, and ye will turn back from faith to your own loss. Nay, Allah is a protector, and He is the best of helpers. Soon shall we cast terror into the hearts of the unbelievers, for that they joined partners with Allah, for which He had sent no authority. Their abode will be the fire, and evil is the home of the wrongdoers. Allah did indeed fulfill His promise to you when ye, with his permission, were about to annihilate your enemy, until ye flinched and fell to disputing about the order, and disobeyed it after he brought you in sight of the victory, which ye covet. Among you are some that hanker after this world, and some that desire the hereafter. Then did he divert you from your foes in order to test you, but he forgave you. For Allah is full of grace to those who believe. Behold, you were climbing up the high ground without even casting a side glance at anyone, and the messenger in your rear was calling you back. There did Allah give you one distress after another by way of requital, to teach you not to grieve for the booty that had escaped you and for the ill that had befallen you. For Allah is well aware of all that you do. After the excitement of the distress, He sent down calm on a band of you overcome with slumber, while another band was stirred to anxiety by their own feelings, moved by wrong suspicions of Allah, suspicions due to ignorance. They said, Have we any hand in the affair? Say thou, indeed, the affair is wholly Allah's. They hide in their minds what they dare not reveal to thee. They say to themselves, If we had had anything to do with this affair, we should not have been in the slaughter here. Say, even if you had remained in your homes, those for whom death was decreed would certainly have gone forth to the place of the death. But all this was that Allah might test what is in your breasts and purge what is in your hearts. For Allah knoweth well the secrets of your hearts. Those of you who turned back on the day the two hosts met, it was Satan who caused them to fail because of some evil they had done. But Allah has blotted out their fault, for Allah is oft forgiving, most forbearing. O you who believe, be not like the unbelievers who say of their brethren when they are traveling through the earth or engaged in fighting, If they had stayed with us, they would not have died or been slain. This that Allah may make it a cause of sighs and regrets in their hearts. It is Allah that gives life and death, and Allah sees well all that you do.